The current threat of the COVID-19 pandemic has brought so much changes in the educational system worldwide. In fact, face-to-face learning delivery modality has been strongly discouraged in the Philippine education as the traditional method of learning and opted the modular distance learning modality for the school year 2020-2021. Aside from this, several webinars and online training to teachers and school administrators have been conducted to address all educational concerns as we about to adopt the new normal education. Jagna District remains hopeful and feel assured in its journey in shaping the lives and bright future of their school learners. Despite of the many challenges in our department, teachers and school administrators remain confident that efficient and quality education services still be delivered to their beloved school learners. This is because of the all-out support extended by the local officials, both in the executive and legislative departments in the municipality. The huge amount of financial assistance and other relevant services would mean a lot and helpful for our school children and teachers in school. Worthy to mention that all local officials in the municipality of Jagna expressed their unwavering support and conceded the dire and immediate need to realign the school educational fund, particularly the sports activities budget, to educational equipment and materials amounting to 960,000 pesos. This amount was carefully planned for the procurement of the 2 duplicating machines, printing supplies and materials, handheld radios, and school repairs for the 27 schools in the district as part of the district learning continuity program. Jagna District is also blessed for having allocated the additional amount of 800,000 pesos from the Bayanihan grant so as to purchase the desired transistor radios with USB ports for elementary learners starting from kindergarten to grade 3 and expanded plastic envelopes for high school learners. Another amount of 210,000 pesos from the Municipal Gender and Development Fund (MGAD) was also approved for the provision of class drives intended for kindergarten learners, including learners from grades 1 to 3. Sa kanunay katambayayong, the use of free vehicular transportations from the LGU for school visits and monitoring purposes was also assured, which enabled us to assess the readiness of the school for the coming school opening. With this, we are proud to leave these lines. Kami sa Jagna, ang pagtuon sa mga bata, among gipahiluna. Mabuhi ka, Jagna!
Despite of COVID-19 pandemic crisis we have experienced today, I am happy to inform you that we are ready for the opening of classes. My dear learners, please don't give up. Be positive. Your determination, hard work, and dedication is the key to overcome this pandemic crisis.
In this new normal-based education, partnership is very important. The schools and families work together, parents empowered to be educators at home. Relationships are the key to learning. We collaborate with our partners, we support, connect, and helping one another. Together, we can transform lives of our students. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad.
Fixation of skills of our senior high school students is our #1 top priority. We adopt the new trend of teaching, alignment of the learning materials, and the multiple learning modalities under new normal, which will help our students to become equipped and be ready, and even lead them to the 4 exits of the senior high school: employment, entrepreneurship, higher education, and middle-level skills development. Together, let us all face the challenges of the new normal with love, dedication, commitment, and support to learn.
The parents and students, there is no need to be worried because everything is already prepared. We teachers are here to support, to assist, and to guide you in everything you need. Be always positive that everything will be okay.
Barangay Council sa Lunay, handa mong tagana sa paghatag o dakong suportar sa DepEd sa bisag unsang lakang programa sa pag-implementar sa edukasyon ngadto sa atong mga kabataan bisan pa sa epidemya sa COVID-19 nga atong giatubang karon. Para sa pagmaan sa atong mga kabataan, magkinabangay kita.
Isang malaking hamon di lamang para sa aming mga guro, kundi lalong-lalo na para sa ating mga mag-aaral at sa kanilang mga magulang na harapin at sundin ang bagong pamamaraan sa pagtataguyod ng pag-aaral ng ating mga estudyante dulot ng kasalukuyang pandemyang ating kinakaharap. Subalit, kinakailangan natin itong gawin dahil ito ang nararapat upang maipagpatuloy ang edukasyon ng ating mga estudyante at matulungan sila na maihatid unti-unti papalapit sa kanilang magandang kinabukasan. Kaya, iniimok po namin kayo na sundin lamang na maayos ang mga hakbang na dapat gawin sa modular distance learning na ipinakita sa simulation video na ito para na rin sa ikabubuti sa takbo ng ating bagong sistema ng teaching learning process na ating sinusunod. Maraming salamat po.
Sa atong bagong sistema karon nga gibuhat sa DepEd, na mao ang modular distance learning. Sa una, kaingon ko lisod pero makaya raman di ay sa akong mga anak, inabanan pod sa akong kaibaluan. Wala man pod ni pasagdi sa mga magtutudlo, isip po sa kaginikanan. Okay ang modular learning.
No bakuna, no classes. Ganyan ang gustong mangyari ni Pangulong Duterte.
To and from Metro Manila shall be suspended beginning March 15, 2020.
Across all borders worldwide, the coronavirus disease, or COVID-19, has threatened and challenged most of the institutional settings. Its devastating effect on our families and communities, we all have felt. In an attempt to contain the spread of the virus, there was a temporary closure of educational institutions. The Department of Education has moved the opening of classes on October 5, 2020 by the virtue of Republic Act 11480 signed by the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The landscape of the educational system has been reformed, and if not properly maneuvered, may mean disruption of the learning process. In this new normal, as manifested through the Nostrum enrollment with a 14% increase over the previous school year, exceeding the 80% national target. Education in Jagna district is so alive. Along with the other special programs such as the Alternative Learning System, ALS, Special Education or SPED, and madrasa. Jagna district is composed of 343 teaching and non-teaching personnel with 14 cluster heads, piloted by the acting public schools district supervisor, Isidora H. Codilia. In response to the Department of Education's commitment of continued education amidst the public health crisis, taking into account the guidelines on the required health standards stipulated in DepEd Order No. 14, Series of 2020, ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of the learners, teachers, and personnel. The District Learning Continuity Plan, DLCP, anchored on DepEd Order No. 18 Series of 2020, was crafted and widely communicated to education stakeholders, ensuring that learning opportunities are safely provided to learners through different learning deliveries. Along with is the simulation on the delivery of the learning process.
Preliminary statement for the timeline of activities in the dry run or simulation of learning delivery modalities. In Jagna District, through the dynamic leadership and guidance of our acting PSDS, Mrs. Isidora Ida H. Codilia, as well as with the collective and supportive efforts of all schools administrators and cooperation of all teachers and stakeholders, as much as possible, we're all trying very hard to simulate completely all the processes in the timeline of activities for the dry run or simulation of learning delivery modalities. All grade levels were well represented. There was a school being assigned for each grade level to conduct the dry run or simulation activities. It will serve as a model school for the different specific grade levels to emulate from, since all the schools in Jagna District were encouraged to roll out the aforementioned dry run or simulation activities in their respective schools in the different grade levels. Simulation 1. Communicate SLCP to stakeholders. Each school that was being assigned to do the dry run or simulation activities in their respective grade levels called off for a meeting with their selected barangay officials, parents, guardians, and teachers, while observing the minimum health standards and protocols against COVID-19, like wearing face masks and maintaining proper physical distancing. During this said meeting, school officials presented their School Learning Continuity Plan, or SLCP, to the stakeholders. Simulation 2. Conduct remote and Dropbox enrollment. We conducted the remote or online and Dropbox enrollment or offline. We informed the parents and guardians through Facebook, messenger posts, and group chats, as well as through texts and calls, for them to enroll their children online or offline by getting the LESF, filling up and returning them through the drop-box enrollment stationed at the schools, barangay halls, purok centers, or even outside the teachers' houses. Simulation 3. Identify learning delivery modalities based on LESF data. Through the data on the filled-up LESF or Learners Enrollment Survey form, we were able to identify the most preferred learning delivery modality, which was the modular learning. Only few learners chose the digital lessons through videos and offline delivery learning or ODL materials. Only those learners who have readily available gadgets at home like laptops, smart TVs or cell phones, and portable radios with the USB ports chose the digital lessons. Simulation 4. Data profiling by class. Simulation 5. Conduct inventory of learning resources. We conducted a survey or inventory of learning resources based on preferred learning delivery modalities. Simulation 6. Prepare model class schedule program. Model class schedule or program was being prepared based on the day and time as well as the specific learning area presented in the weekly home learning plan. Appendix E of Regional Memorandum Number 0375 Series of 2020 entitled Suggested Strategies in Implementing Distance Learning Delivery Modalities or DLDM for school year 2020-2021. Simulation 7. Planning Conference for the Implementation of the Preferred Modality. Teachers' meeting and parents' orientation were conducted, still following the health protocols against COVID-19 set by IATF or Interagency Task Force. Important details like organizational planning, structuring for the learners' activity sheets and modules, distribution and retrieval were thoroughly discussed. Simulation 8. Preparation of materials based on the preferred modality. Digital lessons, videos, ODL materials. For the digital lessons, teachers prepared video lessons in a synchronous learning style or approach. Simulation 8. Preparation of materials based on the preferred modality. Printed modules and learning kits. The teachers printed the LAS and modules to be distributed to the learners. Moreover, hygiene kits like face masks, Toothbrushes, alcohols, soaps, and school supplies were also prepared to be distributed among learners. Teachers' weekly plan based on milk. The teachers prepared weekly plan based on milk, or most essential learning competencies for every subject. Parents' guide, or daily activities for parents to follow. The weekly home plan prepared by the teacher based on Regional Memorandum Number 0375 Series of 2020, Appendix E. Sample format will serve as parents' guide for the daily activities, and it shall be through the parents for their reference and guidance. They will have their own copies of the plan. Simulation 9. Distribution of materials. During the packing of learning materials, teachers wore disposable gloves in placing the learning materials, hygiene kits, school supplies, and textbooks inside plastic envelopes or boxes. The plastic envelopes and boxes were distributed to the parents or guardians in the school or designated purok centers with the assistance of the barangay officials.
As part of the protective measures, our teachers wear face shield, face mask, and gloves. Keeping distance means caring. When entering the school premise, we check the temperature,
36.4,
sanitize the hands, and gather info for the purpose of contact tracing. To make sure that we are 100% contactless, parents are provided with QR codes which will be used to scan necessary info such as the address. The QR codes will redirect us to the student's info. Here, we also input the temperature and symptoms if there are any. "100% contactless and 100% convenient." And lastly, step on the foot bath. Parents can then proceed to the next step. First, the answered activity sheets will be put in the designated box. To be 200% sure, we sanitize the hands for the second time before allowing them to get new learning activity sheets from the box. Then, they may now take the exit safely.
Simulation 10. Actual activity at home. Upon receiving the plastic envelopes or boxes at home, the pupils quarantine them for 3 days before opening them. Then they do the actual activities at home in the labs and modules under the supervision of their parents, guardians, or older siblings. Some selected pupils send documentation of their actual activities and outputs for the whole week. Simulation 11. Retrieval of learners' outputs. During the retrieval of learners' outputs, which was held on the 5th day of the week, parents and guardians went to the school or designated Purok centers to return the plastic envelopes or boxes with the answer sheets written in separate paper and modules only. The learners' activity sheets or LAS and textbooks were left at home as their references. Simulation 12. Assessment of learners' outputs. Disinfection of the plastic envelopes or boxes was done right after the retrieval of the learners' outputs. Then after 3 days, the teachers opened and checked them. Simulation 13. Communicate assessment. The parents or guardians were informed through Facebook or Messenger, texts, and even calls about the scores obtained by the learner in the class or modules for every subject or learning area. Simulation 14. Conduct M&E or monitoring and evaluation in all the processes. As observed during the one-week simulation, all the processes had been carefully followed and administered. Thereafter, monitoring and evaluation had been also conducted to know the best practices and at the same time take note of the lapses being encountered by schools during the dry run or simulation activities. Simulation 15. Post-conference. The acting PSDS called up a post-conference with all the school principals to assess the findings of M&E tool by reviewing all the dry run or simulation videos documented by different schools in all grade levels for further refinement of some strategies and to eradicate the lapses in the last or modules distribution and retrieval as much as possible. Mission 16. Communicate results to DO and other schools in the district. All schools assigned in every grade level for the conduct of the dry run or simulation activities documented all the processes, and they also uploaded their videos in YouTube and shared their links to other schools. The acting PSDS of Jagna District collected all the videos to be presented to the division office, and the ICTs consolidated them. That's why we have come up with this documentation.
While upskilling and reskilling of school heads and teachers is a primary concern, various webinars, teleconferencing, and locked sessions have been attended and conducted. Over the years, significant contributions to the education process were derived from partnership. Thus, collaboration with stakeholders is morally strengthened. On August 1 until August 29, 2020, Brigada Eskwela was simultaneously conducted throughout the schools in the district and nationwide, and was positively responded through volunteerism. Cooperation among parents, teachers, and other stakeholders was manifested by way of weeding, trimming plants, repairing damaged classroom furnitures, while observing health standards and protocols. Through the Bond Paper Mo Module Co Fund Drive of Schools DRRM, financial and material resources were extended to some schools. Reams of bond papers, inks, and school supplies were availed. Others acquired photocopying machine. Some others engaged in a rent-to-own photocopiers and purchased printers through the school's MOOE. Philus Health, a non-government organization, unceasingly extended dental care and services to learners, teachers, and personnel. a 1.5-hour radio program dubbed as DepEd Hour over DYPJ Community Radio, regularly aired free of charge, courtesy of the LGU Jagna on Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon. A slot for cluster heads to disseminate informations and address queries relative to their coordinatorship. All these and more form part of DepEd Jagna's preparation to this school year's opening of classes in this new normal setting. A response to the challenge brought by the COVID-19 pandemic through collaboration and consistent support of our strong stakes. The local government of Jagna, through the local chief executive, Joseph Achacosa Ranyola. Sangguniang Bayan EDCOM Chair, Maricris Valles Hamora. All members of the Sangguniang Bayan, the 33 barangay LGUs, national and local government offices, private sector, NGO, Philus Health, alumni, schools, PTAs, and the entire community.